Hello, friends. So, I'm going to start a series of videos which will focus on GMC specialist registration via portfolio pathway. Uh, just to give you a bit of a background, I got onto the specialist register in old age psychiatry via portfolio pathway, uh, which is a non-training route to get onto the specialist register uh, for a doctor to work as a substantive consultant in their area of specialty. So, because I've gone through this route recently, I will do short videos on every aspect of portfolio pathway. And we will start this today by discussing about the eligibility criteria. So as we all know that the curriculum changed in 2023, and I will talk about psychiatry because that's where my specialty lies, and so I'll talk about that. In psychiatry, it is now the curriculum is based on KSE, that is knowledge, skills, and experience. And it is now cohort based. So it is cohort one. So before you submit, you have to write a statement on which cohort are you submitting your portfolio under, whether it is cohort 1A, 1B, or 2. We will talk about the cohort system in the future videos, but today we will talk about the first step where are you eligible to apply for specialist register or specialist registration under portfolio pathway. So I will share my screen and let's go straight to the GMC website because that is the primary source of information, and that is what should be our go-to website to get all the information possible for this pathway. So again, GMC has explicitly mentioned about the eligibility criteria, which is here. To apply, you must have either a specialist qualification in the specialty you are applying in, or at least 6 months of continuous specialist training in the specialty you are applying in. Right? So let's understand about this, because this is where all the confusion is most of the time, whether we are eligible or not. I myself got a bit confused when I was applying for this because when the cohort system came, it made things even more confusing. However, irrespective of your cohort type, the eligibility criteria still remains. That is, either you have a specialist qualification or you have at least 6 months of training in the area of specialty you're applying for. Now, let's talk about these two things separately. One is the specialist qualification. Specialist qualification, if you have a Royal College exam, so again, if you've got membership, whether it is MRCP or MRC Psych for psychiatry, you meet the eligibility criteria. However, MRC Psych would only cover CCT specialties, right? So in psychiatry, there are 6 CCT specialties: general adult, old age psychiatry, child and adolescent psychiatry, forensic psychiatry, medical psychotherapy, and learning disability. So these are the only 6 CCT specialties where you can apply for portfolio pathway in these 6 CCT specialties, and your MRC Psych would, if you have MRC Psych, you are eligible to apply for these 6 CCT specialties. There are non-CCT specialties as well, such as neuropsychiatry, liaison psychiatry, addiction psychiatry, eating disorder as well now. However, again, we are still unsure whether MRC Psych would cover that. In my view, it wouldn't. But if you really want to double check, contact GMC directly. But in my understanding, if you have MRC Psych, you would be eligible to apply for these six CCT specialties, which I've mentioned before under portfolio pathway. Now, this is one specialist qualification. If you've got Royal College membership, you are automatically eligible. But there are other specialist qualification as well, like, but again, it all depends in your country, which specialist qualification uh, you are applying, you have pursued, and whether that would meet the eligibility criteria for portfolio pathway. Again, when it comes to specialist qualification, uh, again, MRC, the benefit of MRC Psych is that you will be eligible for these six CCT specialties. But so say, for example, if you've done MD Psychiatry from India, now when you're submitting your portfolio, and if you've done MD Psychiatry from India, for example, you have to also submit the curriculum which was followed. If you have MRC Psych, you don't have to submit the curriculum because it was done in the UK and they are aware of it. GMC is aware of the curriculum, so you don't have to submit that. Just the MRC Psych certificate, that's enough. But if it is from other countries, you have to submit the curriculum as well. So, for example, if it's MD Psychiatry, you can submit the curriculum where you can extensively show about your rotation in general adult psychiatry and other subspecialties. So, in my understanding, you would easily meet the eligibility criteria if you have MD Psychiatry from India in general adult psychiatry. Uh, and even other CCT specialties as well, which I've mentioned. But now we talk about minimum 6 months of training. So, say you have your MD Psychiatry qualification. Uh, Now, in India, we don't have like an MD in old age psychiatry or an MD in CAMS, but there is an MD psychiatry, that's it, and all these specialties, subspecialties are included there. Now they've started super specialty, that is DM training and old age psychiatry and neuropsychiatry and all. But if you only have MD in psychiatry, then you need to then ensure that you've done at least 6 months of other subspecialty trainings. Now, why is it that I'm talking about this? Say, for example, you want to submit your portfolio in old age psychiatry, right? And if you don't have MRC Psych and you're relying on MD Psychiatry from India, then you need to demonstrate that you've done your 6 months of training in old age psychiatry, which was from an approved training program. And now that is very important. Whatever training you're doing in your specialty, it has to be an approved training program in your country, right? MD is an approved training program in India, so obviously it is approved. However, you also need to demonstrate that you've done 6 months, at least 6 months of specialty training in old age psychiatry. If you're looking for portfolio pathway registration in child and adolescent, you need to submit or you need to demonstrate 6 months of training in child and adolescent psychiatry in an approved training program. So, whichever country you've done your training from, firstly, you have to submit your curriculum, and then you also have to demonstrate that you've done that training, which was an approved training program. So again, it's very important to have that understanding. Uh, Irrespective of the cohort, the eligibility criteria still remains. Either you have a specialist qualification or you've done at least 6 months of training in an approved training program in the area of specialty you're applying. Now, let's take another example. So say you've done a specialist training in neuropsychiatry in your country, and if you feel that, and if you can prove and submit documents that this was an approved training program in neuropsychiatry in your country, then what you can do is you contact the GMC first before you submit. You contact the GMC stating that, look, this is my curriculum and this is the evidence of this training program being an approved training program in your country. Are you eligible to apply for a portfolio pathway in neuropsychiatry? Right? And again, you have to be mindful that MRC Psych would only be valid for 6 CCT specialties. Neuropsychiatry is a non-CCT specialty. So if you're applying for portfolio pathway in a non-CCT specialty, firstly, you need to meet the eligibility criteria. And for that, as I've mentioned already, what are the requirements? So if you feel confident about that, so before you start your portfolio journey, it's always worth contacting the GMC through their specialist. So they've got specialist advisors who you can contact even before you've applied, asking that would this evidence meet the eligibility criteria, whether it is for neuropsychiatry, whether it is for liaison psychiatry, or whether it is for addiction or eating disorder. So I hope this clears the doubt on the eligibility criteria. I hope this was useful, and I'll see you again in the next video. In the next video, we will talk about CV, how to draft a CESR portfolio style CV. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.